be paying attention to catch up with the headlines. Uh-oh, have I spilled? Okay, I was hoping I didn't spill coffee in my bag. It's so good to have you join the sunny side. My name is Joyce, 35 minutes past 12. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We hold it to be worthy of note. Now, we try to escape politics as best as we can. But of course, the events in Port Harcourt appear to be the big, at least this point, it's the boiling point at this point. People are asking legal questions, asking constitutional questions. People are asking divisional questions. People are asking unifying questions. People are wondering what is the motive of the presidential speech. What was the objective of it? And at this point, I think in the next few days, we'll be needing experts to help analyze the legal implications of that singular declaration by the Nigerian president. If you haven't heard it, you're late, or you haven't been listening to Nigeria Info. Why? Okay, so that's me assuming I'm speaking to the wrong crowd. Now, if you're the right crowd, welcome to the sunny side. Now, in Port Harcourt, Rivers Assembly backs emergency rule, pledges sole administrator support. It's coming in every minute, coming in by the moment, and we promise to furnish you all the information as we have it, when we have it. But I will be sharing with you the statement by the governor of the state in a moment, urging the citizens, particularly the youths of the state, to be calm. And I think you need to hear it because it may inform your picture as to what the pulse is out there in Rivers State. Now, if you're from Rivers, I don't know how you feel about this, but curiosity is just forcing me to interrogate your mind, to pick out what the elements of your confusion or your understanding is about what's happening in your state. And that would just probably be for a few minutes. But first, let's talk about I Beg to Differ. I Beg to Differ today, tomorrow, another boiling point. Ooh, everything is happening. And then, what else is this? Just in 13 minutes ago, protest erupts in Ondo State as herdsmen kill 5 farmers. Now, in the last 1 week, there's been reports of herdsmen attack. In fact, the Nigerian singer-performer Timaya says herdsmen is destroying the farms in Bayelsa. I heard of the story herdsmen in Enugu, Ebonyi, pardon me. Herdsmen here, herdsmen there. Yeah. Now, it seems as though every other trending story is overshadowing the herdsman reports. Right. This is 13 minutes ago. According to The Punch, there's a protest in Ondo State as herdsmen kill 5. This is probably one of many killings in the last 7-8 days. All of this is happening. Remember, the Natasha situation happened, and before we could figure it out, NYSC happened. NYSC core member, and the whole. By the way, there's a hashtag to that. Marian was telling me I needed to just follow the hashtag. Nigerian youths are angry, offended, and I say that they're impatient with the Nigerian method of rule. It's not just this administration. I think it's a long time coming, and the youths are really out of their wits with how their lives are turning out, making them feel not just incompetent, but as though their dreams are being choked out. Now, we hold it to be worthy of note, and we attempt to touch necessary and very interesting stories today on Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side. First, diction coach. In the person of Vaughn. All 5, I think she's like, you're 5'7", right?
No, Joyce, but I think I'm taller than you, so that makes me around 5'5", 5'6". What's your height?
5'4".
You're 5'4".
No, I'm 5'2". I'm cute. I'm small.
You're petite.
But what I lost in, I'll never call it a loss, but just for the sake of social construct,
you make up for in character.
You've
got such a ginormous personality, Joyce.
Every time people describe, so I think it's funny when people describe me without seeing me,
right?
And when people describe me when they see me, I've had that. They're like, oh, so a former colleague's mother described. She said she thought I was like 6'5" or yeah.
You don't say.
She was like, I thought you were like 6'5". She said your voice is intimidating. And so she came to look for her daughter. Her daughter wasn't home. I was. So she says, "Oh, I want to see Nkiru," and I say, "Oh, she's not home." And then she says, "Oh, by the way, I'd like to see Joyce." And she says, "Oh, I'm Nkiru's mom. I'd like to see Nkiru." I'm like, "Oh no, she's not home, Ma." And she's like, "Oh, by the way, I want to see Joyce." And I say, "Oh, I'm Joyce." And she goes, "No, I'm the Joyce on radio." She says, "No."
She could not believe it.
She said,
Is this you?
she said,
You
"No."
little woman.
She actually said no. The Joyce on radio.
An emphatic no.
I said, this is, and she said, and then she thought I was joking. She's
Yeah.
like, no, the one who works. And I said, "You don't believe me?" She's like, "No, I don't." And I said, "Okay, so ask your daughter then." And she's like, "Are you for real? Like, that's you?" She said, "Well, by the way, the voice though. You're small." I don't mean to be offended. I'm like, "No, I know. I tell myself I'm small, but it's an illusion." This is a setup. This is that thing where you think you can take something for granted and bang, it's all over the place.
Right.
Like fireworks. Yeah, so 5'2", this is God's most perfect creation.
Hallelujah to that. Hallelujah to that, Joyce.
If you're small and those people be telling you, you're small, you're tiny, because sometimes people want to remind you how small you are.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're big in other areas. And even men, like there's some. I remember MI met me in Cool FM Studios, and he was like, finally I found someone I'm taller than.
You don't say.
He's like, "Oh, I found someone I'm taller than." And we actually had to compare
Measure the
height.
height,
I think he's like 5'3".
Ooh.
MI is down
Just
there.
an inch.
MI is down there.
And he's such a
But
brilliant
so that's the
rapper.
thing. You see how,
Mhm.
but that's the illusion, because he looks like, and then
Unassuming.
he's on a mic, and you're like, "Oops.
Who is this?
Yeah." Welcome to the sunny side. All right, Vaughn.
Joyce. Today is going to be one of those days when, we pray for the best and hope for
Your
the
heart's
best.
gonna
Our
palpitate.
hearts are going to definitely.
You're gonna be on the edge of your seats.
Mhm.
You're gonna wish that the tension will subside, but all of 1 hour, everything that can bounce to a beat will bounce to the beats of youngings debating today on Nigeria Info.
And the topic today
Mm.
is cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions.
Fantastic.
And
We're
that is
taking
such
these
an
kids with
interesting
us.
topic.
Yeah.
Because I like to have some cash around,
Mhm.
because again, Nigeria is being a Nigerian, you already know what to expect. Sometimes you go to the ATMs and for some reason there's no cash. You try to make a transfer and then the money the transaction doesn't just, isn't successful. And then you're stuck sometimes. I remember the time when, and this happened 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? When the then CBN governor, Emefiele, withdrew all the cash and we were all stranded. It's going to be such an interesting conversation
In
today.
fact, I think my excitement is that the topic is one of those types of conversation where the most perfect answer or the advantage to the answer is not so obvious from the question.
Exactly.
So you really must be knowledgeable.
You have to
and
be.
have some serious convictions to be capable of defending a stance. So I
That's
like
right.
this one because it looks like fair game.
It is fair.
There's
game.
some topics you're like, you're going to struggle with that one because it's real bad. But yeah, this looks like fair game in
It is
my
fair
position.
game. It is.
Yeah. So what's the
This
other
is the
one?
third place match.
Okay, and it's just
So then
one
just one
competition.
match today.
Okay.
But tomorrow there'll be 2 matches for first place for the I Beg to Differ champion.
Oh, I feel hot already.
I do as well. And their topic.
yeah.
Their topics tomorrow. Lord have mercy.
And they're
so
all
the
females
first
tomorrow?
Yes. All. And today as well.
Oh.
2 girls today, 2 girls tomorrow.
Okay.
The first topic is President Bola Tinubu has demonstrated he is the right leader for Nigeria.
Okay. Oh, bring it back.
President Bola Tinubu has demonstrated he is the right leader for Nigeria. Has he or has he not? One person will say he has, with much conviction. The other person will say, I beg your biggest pardon, even as I beg to differ. No, he hasn't. And that person will say it with
I
as
like
much
that.
conviction as well.
I love that.
And then later at 5 p.m., they are going to discuss the Nigerian woman.
What about?
This won't be a debate. It will be more of a presentation.
Oh,
Or more of a spoken word, if
so
we can say that.
and it can be an argument for or against, or is it for?
It can be an argument for or against, but it's not a debate between them.
Oh, it's so now
They're
you're
just
making
presenting, presenting a speech on the topic, the Nigerian woman.
Nigerian men. You would be interested in that, wouldn't you? I mean, I am. I want to hear what their dads tell them.
Mm-hmm.
What the teachers. Okay. So, and I like the fact that it's quite neutral.
Yes, it is.
You can assume any position,
Right.
and make a case for. Okay. The silence of the lambs, the half. Okay. This is good. So
It is.
tomorrow. Someone turn on that air conditioning. Oh, it's gonna be hot in Nigeria.
Oh, and speaking of which, Joyce, in the previous edition, the winner presented a speech on the topic, the Nigeria of my dreams. It's here, and it was such a beautiful
Really?
one. Yeah, it's right there.
Oh,
Ooh, yes.
I want to hear that. And she had quite a picture.
It was a he.
Oh, he had a utopia. He had a vision.
You should hear it.
I would love to hear it.
You should hear it. It's right here.
Ah, okay. Lego, should we hear it before we go into the reality? I mean, look at
Oh, that's it. The Nigeria of my dreams.
how many minutes is it?
It's long, Joyce. It's 8 minutes long.
Okay, so I mean, Lagos, we can choose is today a good time? Today's what, Wednesday?
Right.
And tomorrow's the finals. Tomorrow's Thursday. I don't have time tomorrow. Okay, Lagos. So sometime during the course of the day, I would love to play this and remind you to listen to I Beg to Differ. So probably towards the end of the show today. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention.
Right.
I'd really love to hear it and hear this dream, and then we'll juxtapose it against
And he
the
painted
reality.
quite a vivid picture of the Nigeria of his dreams. And I went, oh dear chap. Oh, such innocence.
God. We're all looking forward to what plays out today and tomorrow on Nigeria Info with the kid. Well, do we call them kids? With the youngings.
Right.
Yeah, on I Beg to Differ. And they're bringing the passion, the heat, the arguments. They're aiming to win, but I think they're aiming for clarity and to justify a position that they assume, that you also assume, and I'm hoping that you are cheering them on wherever you're listening in from. And I know we're always live streaming the...
Oh, yes, we are. On Facebook and on YouTube.
How do we tell them now? Facebook,
Facebook, Nigeria Info. Just type Nigeria Info.
Fantastic. YouTube, you do the
same thing.
At this point, you can find us
anywhere and everywhere. You can also listen via our app, by the way. Just download the app and you can listen to
I just wanted her to say it, but you know that once you just ask anyone, everyone.
Literally.
For sure. We know those guys. Then they tell you who they like and who they don't like. That's not the point. They know who we are. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to having you judge. I saw a clip of you trying to correct them kids. By the way, you look pretty doing that.
Thank you.
So I'm not
Joyce.
sure what I was watching, how pretty you were or what you were saying. I think I didn't care for what you were saying.
Stop it.
I think I didn't care for what you were saying. Well, you know you're a fine girl. So, Lagos, Nigeria, you know where you ought to be, first of all, every day. But now that we're a boiling pot of mystery and magic, well, you should be here for I Beg to Differ. All right, thank you so much, Vaughn.
Thank you, Joyce.
Lagos, we have worked. Good. Do we pray before we begin?
I think we should because
What?
It's a lot going on, Joyce.
The sunny side.
Everywhere you turn, there's just one bass or boast. It's a lot.
I even think it's worse. I think what the young Nigerians do on Twitter is bass boast, right? But I think what happens and affects our lives directly, it feels like a casting of chains. I'm serious. It feels like a limitation. It feels like an imposition. It feels like a confinement. It feels like a nightmare. It feels like a setback or a setting back. Is there any one thing upon which we are gathered and we can all agree that here we are transitioning from the dark into the light? One thing. At this point, I want to extol the name and the spirit of Nigeria. Give me one thing. Don't lie. And don't be a blind patriot. One thing. Just one thing. In the 21st century, there was a bill passed yesterday on the floor of the Senate, and it was about social media people. Well, social media companies having a presence here, like a physical presence. I guess the argument is that our legislators will want to be able to call them up and say, you need to manage disinformation and misinformation. Does anybody care how much mangoes are? I went to a supermarket on my way back. I stopped by the Malam to buy mango. He told me one mango is 500.
Oh, Lord, Joyce.
He
The
told me
other
one
day, I
mango is
bought
400.
4 miserable-looking mangoes. And I don't know why the rains haven't started in Lagos yet. Please, rain, start pouring.
Okay.
Start pouring, please.
Before I
so
went
that
on
maybe
vacation,
the mangoes will get cheaper or something.
I used to buy dates in a bucket. By the way, Lagos, how much is a bucket of dates, if you know? I used to buy dates for, what's 2,000, 2,500, 2,600, 3,000. Like a year ago, right? Okay, 4,000. Last year, I started buying like 6K. This year, February, I paid 12,000
You don't say.
for a paint bucket.
Of dates.
Yeah, that grows up in the north and has been transported here.
That is ridiculous.
One mango is 500. I wanted to buy lemons the other day, and he said that 3 lemons 500. 3 lemons. Yeah, three. He gave me 3 for 500. I had no qualms with it. But this morning it occurred to me that there was a time in Lagos, if you had 60 naira, you could buy the slicing of the fruits by the malams. You could buy 20. You know, back in the day, if you didn't have money to eat quote unquote the big man food, whatever the heck you thought that was, you could just take 100 naira, go to malam, and you fill your stomach just eating fruits.
Yes, Joyce. In fact, I sat at home yesterday when I got home, looking at the 4 mangoes that I had just bought for 1,000 naira. And that's because it's on the mainland.
You bought it
I had to
1,000
buy,
on the mainland.
yes, for 4 mangoes. And I thought my mind went back to a time when those same 4 mangoes were sold for 200 naira or 200. And I'm not talking 10 years ago, Joyce. I'm talking 2020, 2019, 2020, even 2021, Joyce.
So
it's ridiculous.
So people who you can't fill your stomach with fruit with 500 Nigerian naira. First of all, like we have put to extinction 5 naira and 10 naira. I would even say 50 naira.
50
but maybe
naira
there's still some utility to 50 naira. But the 10 naira and the 5 naira and 20 naira is pretty much not. You can't buy anything with those things. Well, maybe you buy something and it's 520.
Right.
You buy something is 510 naira or 300. Yeah, but other than that, like going to the market to say, oh, I want
you
a
can't
pack
even
of
buy
water.
a cube of Maggie now. You can't buy a cube of Maggie for
with
10 naira
10
or
20
naira.
naira.
You can't buy with that amount. You have to hold at least 100 naira now for a cube.
I was at the
Maggie
local
cubes.
market and I said, oh, I want nutmeg. And she said I think she said one was 200 or 150.
Unbelievable.
Nutmeg. It's like, oh, one.
Unbelievable. But
Oh,
that's
by
our
the way,
reality
spices
right now.
are really, well, maybe because
Oh gosh, Joyce, my mom.
spices are
Speaking of spices, my mom and I
Expensive.
had a conversation some days ago, and she called me regarding her arthritis and how she uses herbs and spices to
okay.
manage her arthritis, and she told me how now that had become a challenge because of the sheer cost of obtaining spices and herbs.
wow.
And I couldn't even say anything because I've had to deal with that as well. You can't even get ginger for, a sizable quantity of ginger now for 1,000 naira.
You took the words out
You
of my
can't.
mouth.
You can't.
Last week, I sent someone because I wanted to have like a ginger shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I told someone to help me buy ginger. I said, "Oh, buy me 1,000 naira ginger." And he was like, "Oh, Joyce." And he was like, "Oh, auntie, the thing is small." Oh, I said, "Let me call you and tell you." And I said, "Well, send me a picture." And he sent me a picture, and I saw something, but I couldn't quite make out the size. I said, "Okay, you know what? Buy me 3,000 naira worth of ginger. If nothing, I'll see it in your palm because I don't know what you're sending to me. I can't quite figure out size." And he got me 3,000 naira worth of ginger.
That's where we are at right now. You can't afford spices. You can't afford herbs. including onions, Joyce. The basic of them all. The basic the basic ones.
Someone told me that there's this fish people used to like take for granted before.
Yes. What's the name of? What do they call that?
The round one with the
yes,
sticks.
panla. Yes, panla.
That the Yorubas put in the soup a lot.
Joyce.
She's how people used to disregard this fish now. Before she was like, now
you are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Tasty, creamy and nourishing. E get vitamins A, D, E, B1, B9, B12 and zinc. Now original Niger yogurt. I beg you, make una throw away salute for fine yogurt. Beg you, go Jollimento with the new fine yogurt drinking yogurt.
Fine yogurt, original Niger yogurt.
Hey, this dollar wahala now wow. Everything just dey expensive. Na true, but make we look am well, my brother. See, your shoe na from Italy, your shirt na from Turkey, your phone na from China, your car na from Japan. In fact, everything wey dey your body so na import to the import am. Abeg you, how that one take consign dollar? If price of dollar go come down, e get many things wey we suppose do. Like wetin? Number one, we suppose dey export pass how we dey import. Number two, we suppose dey buy more made in Nigeria products. Number three, make we support local business. And number four, if you wan send dollar and other foreign currency enter Nigeria, make we dey use international money transfer agents.
What you dey talk dey make sense o.
Oh, country people, make we join hand, reduce the pressure on our naira, grow our export market, and increase forex inflow. Now our hand e dey o. This message now from Bankers Committee.
It all comes down to this. Weeks of fierce debate, sharp argument, and unshakable confidence. Now, only the best remain. This Wednesday at 4 p.m., two rising stars step into the ring. Akishule Oyindamola and Chaluku Naomi clashing on the topic. Cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions. Who will stand their ground? Who will falter? Then, on Thursday, the grand finale. The I Beg to Differ studio opens at 3 p.m. on Thursday, and at 4 p.m. it's the ultimate showdown. Esther Joseph goes up against Ifeolu Olaiya on the topic. President Bola Tinubu has demonstrated he is the right leader for Nigeria. But they're not done yet. At 5 p.m., these two world warriors return, this time to deliver a powerful presentation on the topic, the Nigerian woman. It's not just a battle of words, it's a test of intellect, passion, and oratory prowess. Who will rise? Who will take the crown? One champion will emerge. Be there. Witness history. I Beg to Differ final week live for Wednesday and Thursday. Tune in live on Nigeria Info 99.3 and Kids FM 101.7 Lagos. And watch the action unfold on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. I Beg to Differ, supported by Obi-Wisi, Diamonds and Pearls Travels Limited, and Chrisland Schools. Prize money sponsor, Tollywood College. I Beg to Differ, the Tournament of Champions. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, if you are with us, we are with you as well. And here is what's coming out. Well, this was reported last night, so if you're waking up to the news, we're picking it up from where it was left off last night. The president has declared a state of emergency in Rivers State following the protracted political crisis in the state. He made that proclamation during a nationwide broadcast on Tuesday, suspending the governor, his deputy, and all members of the House of Assembly for 6 months. The president nominated Vice Admiral Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state for the first 6 months. The president relied on Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution to make the proclamation. And the section interprets a state of emergency as a situation of national danger, disaster, or terrorist attack in which a government suspends normal constitutional procedures to regain control. Okay, so we'll make this a conversation for a few minutes on the sunny side today. We hold it to be worthy of note, and what is happening out there in in Rivers is certainly something to note and follow through as it develops. In the meantime, we're going to quickly go for a very short break to bring to you the news update. And with that, on the other side of the hour, we will be getting into this conversation. So we'd like for legal practitioners, legal opinions, and of course, natives of River State to call in and tell us what they believe is happening and how they feel this particular declaration will impose or affect the state.
Nothing travels faster than news.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to a meeting over the Apex Bank's timeline to retire old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes.
Great conversations last longer.
Then just because sometimes you just change all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's not being good. That's not being good. That's witchcraft.
We do it all here on your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
It's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
The news update
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Lagos, things got heated at the House of Representatives today as lawmakers clashed over President Bola Tinubu's emergency declaration in Rivers State. At the center of the drama were two female lawmakers, Mary Ebikake and Blessing Amadi, who got into a tense argument before the session even started. Meanwhile, some lawmakers were seen banging on tables, insisting that nothing would change, while others seemed ready for a showdown. Ahead of the plenary session, small groups formed across the chamber as lawmakers debated the president's decision. And speaking of River State, the House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martin Amehule, has fully backed President Tinubu's state of emergency. Amehule admitted that the Assembly didn't see this coming, but maintained that the president acted in the country's best interest. He placed the blame squarely on Governor Siminalayi Fubara, accusing him of ignoring court rulings and failing to govern according to the Constitution. Amehule also called on residents to stay calm and work with the sole administrator now in charge of the state. And not everyone agrees with the president's decision, though. Professor of Constitutional Law, Joyce Achara, has slammed the move, calling it ill-advised and unconstitutional. Speaking with our correspondent Honor Anuobodo, Professor Achara argued that the Constitution does not give the president the power to remove an elected governor or suspend the state legislature.
What the president has done is that he is now inviting forces anti-democratic ones, contrary to Section 1 of the Constitution, which says that Nigeria, no part of this, can be governed by anybody except under the provisions of the Constitution. That is under a democratic process, elected people.
He also pointed out that the State Assembly was still functioning before the intervention and warned that this sets a dangerous precedent. Achara, a former Dean of Law at Enugu State University of Science and Technology, is urging the National Assembly to step in and reject the emergency declaration.
There's no evidence that the House of Assembly in Rivers State cannot sit or transact business. In fact, just the week before, they have gone in and, they are sent in bills for the governor to ratify, and the governor has tried to attempt to present a budget but was shut out.
Meanwhile, over in Gaza, tensions are escalating. At least 13 people have been killed in overnight airstrikes after Israel announced it was resuming its military operations in full force. The Palestinian Warfare News Agency reports that an Israeli drone strike hit a tent near the Al-Mawasi humanitarian zone, killing 2 civilians and injuring 5 others. Israel's military says the strikes were aimed at a Hamas military site preparing to launch attacks, adding that Hamas-controlled vessels were also targeted. And this comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that combat had resumed in full force, warning, quote, "This is just the beginning." And that's the news updates this hour. You are listening to The Sunny Side with Joyce on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Yvonne Alhaifel. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
Tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce, only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Yes, Lagos. So Nigeria is unraveling, and before our eyes, there are actors, there are spectators. On the sunny side, we're talking about what we are witnessing out of Port Harcourt. I want to say welcome to you, and you would certainly love this conversation. One, or you may be tired by the political drama of what has been happening at different areas or within different areas in the country, but now even Port Harcourt specifically. I did tell you, as you may already know, Tinubu, the president, declares state of emergency in Rivers and suspends the governor. Okay, so let's go back a few days ago, pretty much. The Federal High Court, or a Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, fixed 16th April for its ruling on an application seeking the sack of 27 lawmakers of Rivers State House of Assembly over their defection. Now, 27 lawmakers led by their Speaker, Martin Amewole, loyal to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, pretty much is somewhere at the core of all of this back and forth, all right? Including many of the things we have heard Wike come out to either suggest or imply. Okay. Now, we're picking up the conversation which I was on a minute ago. The Labour Party filed the suit. They prayed the court to declare the seats of the lawmakers vacant for defecting from the PDP to the APC. Now, following a peace deal brokered by the president, the governor had applied to withdraw the initial suit filed by the Supreme Court seeking the sack of the lawmakers for the defection. The Supreme Court in February dismissed the suit after the governor's legal team, a senior advocate, withdrew the appeal. All right, just giving you some highlights to ensure that you're really just following this complex, rather interesting development out of River State. A senior advocate of Nigeria, now, Kunle Edun, stated that the president lacks the constitutional authority to suspend Rivers State governor and members of the State House of Assembly under the provision of Section 305 of the Nigerian Constitution. In the statement, Edo explained that while Section 305 outlines the conditions for declaring a state of emergency, it does not grant the president the power to remove or suspend elected state officials. He emphasized that under Section 305(4), only a state governor, with the support of 2/3 majority of the House of Assembly, can request the president to declare a state of emergency in any part of the state. He further argued that the crisis in River State had already been settled by the Supreme Court, and the House of Assembly had resumed legislative activities. According to him, the governor's recent presentation of the 2025 budget at the Assembly complex demonstrated that governance was still functional, making the president's claim that there was no working government in the state inaccurate. We must also say that the president must have seen the way things happening in Port Harcourt may escalate or degenerate into something far worse than what is at the moment being admitted, and so he thought, well, maybe in order to re-strategize, reorganize, re-evaluate, and maintain peace and order, let me do this. This, which he has done, is right now at the center of public opinion and scrutiny, with legal minds suggesting that, yes, he has yes, there is something in the Constitution that speaks to a state of emergency, but that particular stipulation does not permit the president or give him powers to pretty much declare, lay off a constitutionally, maybe not lay off, of course, suspend for 6 months, a constitutionally elected official. Okay, so here we are, and we must also wait to pretty much figure out whether things will and how things will evolve. And I'm just really trying to be careful here because it does feel that this is beginning to look tense. And you know what I mean. It's those who are for a said party, those who are against. And even for me, I wonder what the people of the state even feel. And it's interesting because it's not even a Lagos gist. It's not necessarily Lagos centered. But you know how politics really just has a way to ripple. Now, you have a minister of the FCT who has, in many instances, been involved in the politics in River State. And he has been quite vocal about it. We have discussed a number of his positions here on the sunny side. He did admit that many of the people who are in political offices today in River State were people whom he put in office. And according to him, he thought it was a political strategy to organize, and according to him, the institution he put in place to ensure something happens, blah, blah, blah. But now we don't even know the details. But the moment the former governor of River State, Wike, started, to get into this dispute with now governor Fumbara, gist started to fly out of River State. And then we heard Wike wanted a percentage of something. Fumbara was not being submissive or agreeable to the terms or the demands of Wike and wanted to be his own man. There's an old video where Wike was asked, hey, if a new guy comes in, this whole godfatherism thing, would you want him to pretty much be at your beck and call? And he said no. He's not serving me. He's serving the state. Have you seen that video? I'm going to get that video and place in your hearing. And pretty much he spoke against godfatherism. Well, it would appear that maybe there are sometimes Wike has an opinion that you may want to cling to, and other times, I guess it can only just be a form of reference, because even though he had spoken about godfatherism in the past, it would appear that right now his motives are different. And for what it's worth, yes, there are people who support Wike and may have justifications for it. But between the two elephants in this fight, the present governor and the former governor, now present minister in Abuja, you can see how this can affect the state. Honestly, yesterday, when the pipeline reports made it to the news, I didn't even know what to think. Even now, as I speak with you, it's a little hard to tilt one way or the other. The first pipeline explosion happened, and you're thinking, wait, what's happening? Hope this is not... You remember Nigeria back in the day where you could just be sitting down and trying to have a cup of tea with some bread and egg, and you hear one pipeline there exploded, another one exploded. The boys in the creek were a menace, It was just a crazy situation until during the Yaradua dispensation, the president was able to quell, and just bring to an end all of that madness. And honestly, yesterday I was hoping, I hope we're not going back there, where our pipelines now would be sabotaged by people who felt that the political advantage had slipped out of their hands, or maybe their voices were not being heard. It was a little just difficult to pin it. And just while I was trying to take that in, then there was a report of another pipeline explosion. And when I thought about having this as a conversation, I think the details are still coming up and they're being made open. And so we really have to be patient as to what we think the judgment of this picture truly is. But I also think that so far what we have seen has left us with questions or concerns. So let's talk about that. The questions and the concerns. Sometimes you want to hope that even those who get into the game of politics would take the state into regard, that they would be more concerned for state development and ensure the peace of the greater good as against personal interest. At this point, we can say that personal interests may be the reason we have this as a story today, unworthy of note. So I want to welcome you all once again. My name's Joyce, 0201 2770 993. 0201-465-7190, and on WhatsApp 080-9597-5805. Politics, its advantages, disadvantages, and then sometimes it takes a very awful turn. And here we are hearing that a constitutionally elected governor is being asked to sit back and watch things unfold. Now, some even suggest that this said constitutionally elected governor may have come in on the grace of the political game that played to his advantage. Oh, Lord, let's talk. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. If you can hear me, welcome to the sunny side. Good afternoon to you. Oh, sorry, I lost you too. Hopefully you're able to make it back. We're Nigeria Info. Rivers is in the news. Just getting your reaction on the matter. Thank you.
Good afternoon. How are you, Joyce?
I'm good. Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
All right. This is Adekunle. I'm calling from Agege.
Thank you for calling.
All right. I would say, there are states in the northern parts of Nigeria that will require this emergency takeover, emergency rule. Because in some states in northern Nigeria, the bandits are basically taking over some local governments, and farmers have to pay homage and actually pay taxes. Don't they know what is going on? There are states like Benue where every single day you turn on the news, you hear of massacres from herdsmen and all those kind of things. Those kind of areas require emergency rule. What is going on in River that requires states of emergency? I would say the same thing Elon Musk is doing to Donald Trump is the same thing Wike is doing to our president. I am sorry if I'm going overboard, but this is just my own opinion. You cannot dethrone, that's not the right word. You cannot unseat an elected governor in the name of state of emergency. Can't you give credence or can't you give reference to the people that actually put him in power? Is that what they want? Something is going on. Something on the hand is going on, and we have to get to the bottom of this. We cannot be rude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. I really do appreciate your input. You on the sunny side will hold it to be worthy of note. And Rivers, politics, Nigeria, let's talk. You on the sunny side. My name's Joyce. Hopefully you make it back. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, Joyce, good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you very much, Joyce. For me, all is happening in Rivers. I think Wike has won. I want to say bravo to him. But it's just a question of time. Like the first caller said, you have a lot of things happening in the north. Where are they? They didn't declare state of emergency. But because they want to, whatever this guy is doing, I hear people saying, oh, it's his turn. He has the right to run the country the way. Like, no, why we need democracy? Is it democracy we are practicing? All the blame was on Fubara. The other day, we can hold press conference. Hear all the things he was saying. One of the pressmen want to mind you on a national field. Who are you? He never see any fault in Wike. Even the Amafulewa, what did you call the speaker? Say yes, it's the president, whatever. It's just question of time.
All right.
They will drag this in 2027 if Nigerians allow this thing to continue. Like I always say, we all are in for it. Where is Abacha today? Where is Buhari today? Thank you, Joyce.
I'm so grateful that you called in. Thank you. Welcome, Nigeria Info. Yeah, you can sometimes feel how exhausting politics can be, how not so straightforward. And the implications of it is not even quantifiable. But yet, you can tell that how it affects our lives sometimes leaves us speechless, broken. I mean, we've had cases where politics have taken the lives of people. We're hoping it doesn't degenerate that far, but look at this. Someone was asking, why didn't the president say anything about the FCT minister? Well, I'm asking you on the sunny side. The sunny side, Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, you have a man on the line speaking from Ekwe.
Good to have you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Joyce, there's this thing Uncle Jimmy usually say, that the boys' quarters boys are taking over the main building. And that is what is happening today. There's this player called Mario Balotelli. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
You need to be cautious when you are introducing him, to the field of play.
Oh.
I think Wike is the Mario Balotelli of Nigerian politics.
Uh-oh.
And the president, does not really care because there's nobody to give Wike a red card or even give him the coach, the ultimate red card.
Yeah.
I listened to the speech yesterday, and 2 minutes into that speech, I knew there was a state of emergency coming in.
Okay.
I knew all the game would be hip on Fubara. And I want to tell the political class this. A lot of us do not really believe in the court, either the Federal Court, the Appeal Court, or the Supreme Court. we only see what they dish out, as a formality on paper that needs to be implemented. Because there are no choice. And there are events, that have made some of us believe this, go along with this belief. You want to talk about electoral cases, some other cases, that the court will deviate completely from what they are supposed to. Now, if you look at the prayers of this recent Supreme Court, some prayers they granted, we are not even requested for. For instance, the legitimacy of those assembly guys, and even withdrawal of the state allocation fund. They were not prayers that we were sought for. How did the Supreme Court come about, in terms of granting those prayers? That is on one hand. On the other hand, this is for the president. No matter how smart you are, don't ever think everybody is done. Similarly, Fubara can't take all the blame. The recent interview Wike granted, because some people are saying Wike is not party to the issue. Wike keep repeating our lawyers, my lawyers, our lawyers, my lawyers didn't collect anything from us. How come the lawyers belong to Wike? So you see, there are two people that will be taken out of the picture, and then peace will be restored to Rivers State. Number one is Similar Ifubara, who is the governor today, and number two is the minister of FCT. But if you want to give fair judgment and fair justice, who was elected to govern Rivers State, either rightly or wrongly, it is Similar Ifubara, which means if you want to be fair, Wike is somebody you should take out of the picture. If you take Wike out of the picture today, there will be peace in the land. State of emergency is neither here nor there, either the governor, but there are things that led, to bringing up the state of emergency, which the president is biased, totally biased in my own opinion, and no one can convince me otherwise. Thank you and good afternoon to you.
All right. Some say that the president was trying to prevent an unnecessary occurrence, one that could be a threat to lives and property. Now, you can hold that thought. While you're trying to reach me, I want to quickly share some information with you.
Speaking of battles, Fan Battle is coming up. Fan Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is set, literally. In partnership with Sports Salon, we are raising a game in honor and a shot at fame. 32 of Lagos's finest fans will be set to contest for glory and write for themselves a wonderful story with 1 million naira slapped on the top category. Yes, that was a deliberate rhyme. Registration is ongoing at www.nigeriainfo.fm. Click on the Fan Battle banner on the homepage and go ahead to fill the mini form, as well as drop a video that is not more than 60 seconds long with you speaking, ranting, raving on any football topic of your choosing. Then, of course, go on to click on the submit button. And just like that, Fan Battle 4 would have begun for you. Fan Battle 4. Let the battle begin. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, one play is still on board. We are still in the business of giving away money, and star 347 star 880 star 3 hash is how we get it done on this side. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 500 naira per ticket. You can play as many as 10 times. You can play as little as once. Whichever your capacity falls into, make sure you are staying just there. It is one play, not one work. Now, remember, at the end of the week, there is a jackpot. 500,000 naira large. So as you are playing for the daily winnings of around 200,000 naira, you are also pinning with one eye on the Friday jackpot. And of course, the more you play, the better your chances of winning, both for the daily winnings and the weekend jackpot. Now, make sure you remember that we are giving away money on almost every show. Yes, so money is being given away on the last show, the morning crossfire. What's up, Lagos? The morning crossfire, this show, and of course, game on later in the evening, we are giving money away. Remember that you have to be above the age of 18, and in all you are doing, you should make sure you are playing responsibly. It's the only right way to play. One Play is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission. Keep on playing and keep on winning. May the force, as Joyce says, be with you.
All right, Lagos 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm going to quickly ask you to hold your breath. We'll go for a very short break. We'll come back. There are messages to be read. The public would love to speak on what their concerns are with the emergent story out of River State. You're on the sunny side with Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. Do not go anywhere. We hold it to be worthy of note. Tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce.
Suleiman is 11. He rolls a tire under the bridge in Akwonjo. Doesn't go to school. Everybody knows him as the boy that draws under the bridge. We find Suleiman, get him to lead him to his mom, take us to their house, dusty drawer with cobwebs. They open it. Some of Suleiman's paintings, she was smart enough to keep them. Took about 3 or 4 of them, brought them to the gallery. Now, Suleiman will go to school, send his siblings to school. That's the story of patronage. Yeah.
Plus 234 Art Fair 2025 holds from March 27th to 31st at the Pan-African Center, brought to you by Soto Gallery and Echo Bank. Admission is free.
Grab your sunglasses, beachwear, sunscreen, and head over to Ziba Beach Resort, where there is a spot with your name on it just for you and your loved ones. To book your holiday spot, visit zibabeachresort.com or call 0704 730 0013. Ziba Beach Resort, Lagos. A beachside Christmas awaits you.
Hi, e dey tasty, creamy and nourishing. E get vitamins A, D, E, B1, B9, B12 and zinc. Na original Naija yogurt. Abeg, make una throw away salute for fine yogurt. Abeg, go Jollimento with the new fine yogurt drinking yogurt.
Fine Yogo, original Naija yogurt.
All comes down to this. Weeks of fierce debate, sharp arguments, and unshakable confidence. Now, only the best remain. This Wednesday at 4 p.m., 2 rising stars step into the ring. Akishule Oyindamola and Chaluku Naomi clashing on the topic. Cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions. Who will stand their ground? Who will falter? Then, on Thursday, the grand finale. The I Beg to Differ studio opens at 3 p.m. on Thursday, and at 4 p.m. it's the ultimate showdown. Esther Joseph goes up against Ifeoluwa Olaiya on the topic. President Bola Tinubu has demonstrated he is the right leader for Nigeria. But they're not done yet. At 5 p.m., these two world warriors return, this time to deliver a powerful presentation on the topic, the Nigerian woman. It's not just a battle of words, it's a test of intellect, passion, and oratory prowess. Who will rise? Who will take the crown? One champion will emerge. Be there. Witness history. I Beg to Differ final week live Wednesday and Thursday. Tune in live on Nigeria Info 99.3 and Kids FM 101.7 Lagos. And watch the action unfold on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. I Beg to Differ, supported by Obi Wisi, Diamonds and Pearls Limited, and Christian Schools. Prize Money College. I differ.
What your talk news and sports favorites is Nigeria Football.
Before today, I want to give away $25 and play responsibly. I know you the foot lose. I know what the time you get just wait. Now I don't care for the law and we'll have a chance of the 20s and the ones on that and with and if I'll let you know the last 4 digits of the number and you'll expect a call from one play. And good luck with that little coins. Do something sensible with it. The sunny side. We hold this to be worthy of note. It's a little difficult to pin what to note here because it's unraveling. It's a moving story. Now, this is a FA from Wari says Tinubu, an ECOWAS president, is calling for restoration of democratic rule from military to democratic elected persons in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and so on. But he is behaving worse than a dictator by demanding a military takeover in his own domain. As president of Nigeria, this is the rape on our democracy and a mockery to leadership in Africa. Wow. He says, well, he's indeed a terrible president. Okay. is it possible that you may... So hold on. Now, this is just me asking that you consider the reason for which it was said that he declared a state of emergency, which is, of course, to prevent possible degradation and stop what was assumed to be pending, given that there are two conflicting parties and every party may have stretched themselves to the point where their patience had run out, and Wike was willing to show Fumbara who the boss was, who had more authority, who had gang power, who had what it took to wield power. Because this is all about power. I don't even think this is even about governance anymore. We can at least put it on the table that this is about political relevance, political power. We're talking on Nigeria Info. The Sunny Side, how are you?
Hi, Lady Jane. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for calling. You on the Sunny Side, you tell us your name, you go ahead. We're picking it up from there.
Mrs. Oboli.
Good.
For what it's worth, whatever excuse the president wants to give for the emergence of the state of emergency in Rivers State is not tenable. It is not tenable.
All right.
When the past president did this, he condemned it way back. Then he was still the governor. So why repeat the same thing? When he knows it is not a part of his ethos, why would he repeat it? Lady J, what precedents are we even setting in the first place?
We're finding out.
So because you have a headache, must you cut off your head? Is that not drug to stem the tide of that pain you're feeling? Why bring a gun to a knife battle? You never reached that level now. What exactly is the issue? If you're to check it before you declare a state of emergency, you know there is chaos, tending towards chaos. Okay, they blew the pipeline, and then the next thing, you bring this for what?
All right.
How are the Rivers people feeling presently now? How? And this was in the interest of who? So two fighting, Lady J. I have an issue with somebody, and then you penalize me. What happens to the next person? What happens to the fate of the people living in Rivers State? Is this what they truly want? If you have power,
Hopefully.
because you have power, you wield it so much. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Must you wield it absolutely? This is not democracy. Would you call this democracy, Lady J? If somebody asks me now, what do we practice in Nigeria? What would I even say? Military rule, regime, dictatorship, autocracy, Tinubucracy, Tinubunomics. The names are endless. I don't even know where to start from. But the question is this. Is this what we want? Because tomorrow now, he will come and write his own book. Why I brought a state of emergency in Rivers State, and then they will now start clapping for him and donate for him. Because
All right.
now it is books and books and books galore.
Thank you. So we'll have to, please pardon me, so we can let other people also draw in their contributions. I'll
Thank you
appreciate
very
it. Thank
much,
you so
ma'am.
much for calling Lagos. Let's keep this on the 2 minutes because too many calls coming in, and I'm just really trying to give as many people an opportunity to speak. So 2 minutes, remember that. Nigeria Info will hold it to be worthy of note. How are you?
Hello, Lady J. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us your name. Go ahead, please.
I can't believe I could get through on this number, 020-127-0995. Terrible number. Emeka is my name from Satellite Town.
All right.
I wish this whole state of emergency being declared was all about security concerns and the need to improve the lives of Rivers people and all that. But, Lady J, this whole thing boils down to one man's ambition, one man's avarice, one man's determination to hold on to a structure, albeit criminal structure. That's all this is all about. For me, I see this whole thing as a well-crafted, drafted script.
Okay.
A premeditated, pre-planned, and finally executed script. This is all this whole thing is all about. Yes, let's agree that the governor did some unconstitutional acts, like demolition of the assembly complex. Yes, I agree. But something triggered this whole thing. And rather than blaming two sides, two people were involved in a fight as well. Even when they went for the meeting at After Rock, reports had it that the whole resolution was against the governor, all in favor of Wike. Now, if you listen to the speech of Mr. President, even before he made the declaration, all the blames, the governor did this, the governor did that, the governor did this, the governor did that, the governor did this, all the blames were at the doorstep of the governor. So how do you balance it? For me, this action of Mr. President is divisive, it is disruptive, it is unfair, and it is biased.
All right.
Talking about the constitutionality of declaration of state of emergency, like one Emmanuel who called it said, it's not here nor there. Whether he has the constitutional power to remove an elected governor, an elected representative, because we have precedents in recent times. There has been declaration of state of emergency in some states, where even the governors were allowed to prevail, the House of Assembly was allowed to remain. But the security architecture, the federal government took over. But now here we have you removing an elected governor and removing an elected members of the State House of Assembly. So the whole thing, the bigger picture here is, what does this purport for non-APC controlled states henceforth? Does it mean that APC cannot come up with any excuse whatsoever to declare state of emergency in any PDP controlled state or Labour Party controlled state and then impose a military administrator there? That is the bigger question. And it also points finger at 2027. It shows that 2027 is going to be a very, very bloody day, bloody year. We have to be prepared for what is coming, because this is just a tip of the iceberg. We haven't seen nothing yet. I don't care what the governor has done, but I believe that if you want to play two people fighting, you just have to be fair and just. That is my submission.
All right. Thank you for calling. Hello, Nigeria Info. Listen attentively. Illegally elected president can use illegal constitution fabricated power to suspend an illegally elected governor and his cabinet, all because hold on, wait. What is all this illegality all over the place? Okay, he says, illegally elected president can use illegal constitution fabricated power to suspend an illegally elected governor and his cabinet altogether by illegal constitution fabricated power. Simple. We are running an illegal constitutional democracy altogether, period. Nigeria must be brave to protest for impeachment of this dictatorship. Injustice president also, period. Wike can kill and burn governors or government house, no problem. Obasa can defile House of Assembly, no impeachment. What an injustice president. Let's read this one. How on earth will a president have to sit down with a former governor and a sitting duly elected governor to discuss an agreement? What kind of agreement is that, Joyce? Are we really in a sane country? Do we really look like one right now? How can a leader stake the economic life of a country for personal interest? I expect Fubara to start telling the world the kind of agreement that his predecessor wants, that was presided over by the president of our country. Why didn't the president declare state of emergency in Kanu when it was boiling? These politicians can take the ropes for us far as we give it to them. It's a shame. This is Tony from Marine Beach. Thank you so much. Nigeria Info. Hey, how are you? You're on the sunny side. We're following through what's developing out of Rivers. If you're with us, tell us your name. Go ahead.
KG calling from Igbedu. All right, so, Jared, I'd like to play the devil's advocate, all right?
Go ahead.
And I hope we'll listen with open mind, all right?
Okay.
And I think our major issue in Nigeria is just because we all speak on the argument of sentiment and true emotion. Going down memory lane, Wike has been like this ever since he's been local government chairman. Go and check his antecedents. Wike has been the type that speaks anyhow. Nobody says anything at that time. When what is his name? Amechi wanted to be governor. Go check the record. Wike was the main man that helped him become a governor in Rivers State. Go check the record. And nobody said anything. When Fubara was become a governor, when he knows that he doesn't have the teeth to chew a big bone, why did they accept to chew the bones? So now Fubara thinks, oh, okay, I'm the only guy. No. He is not a politician, and he allowed the politician to make use of him. And that's why we are seeing all of this. Regardless of what you want to say about Wike, is this, is that. The only person we have evidence for what he has done wrong is the governor. He's the one that demolished. Has Wike demolished anything? No. He's the one that uses 3 people as the House of Assembly to pass the budget. Has Wike done that? No. Whatever it is that the governor has done wrongly, is the only one that we have evidence of what he has done wrongly physically. We've not seen any evidence of what Wike has done wrongly aside from speaking. And whether we like it or not, we're in a free world, we can speak. And if you remember, the last time the judge made the president for the break of fast or whatever, I think last week, the president said something. He said he actually told Fubara what to do, that he knew that it would get to this, that he was expecting that he would have just, played the politics or whatever he wants to play it and learn the lessons and move on. See, I'm not the type that come and pity anybody. I'm not pitying any one of these guys. That's just the truth. They are, as far as I'm concerned, they're all a bunch of the same feathers. When he knows he will not play to his game, why did he accept his offer to become a governor? We all knew what Wike said prior to Fubara becoming a governor. We all knew what Wike did to other people, all because Fubara wants to be a governor. So why is he not coming out to play the Oli Adao? That's how I want us to look at it from. None of them are saints. For me, they are all the same thing. And he, the governor, did not listen. The president told him that you don't need to listen to all these guys. All the elders were advising him, saying all sorts. Where are they today? They are nowhere to be found. And again, like you said, Joyce, when you were about to start, you did read the section of the Constitution that gave the president the power to do whatever he has done. So please, I think it's important that we whether we like it or not, we are governed by whether it's fake or original. It doesn't matter. What matters is we have something that we are looking up to, and that's the fact. So the question is, does the president have the power to do what he has done? Yes or no? When Obasanjo did it, everybody did not fall in Ekiti State. Nobody.
Yeah, but the governors were not suspended, right?
Yeah, no.
Or the governor wasn't suspended.
Was removed.
Yeah.
No, Ayafashi was removed. In fact, it wasn't suspended. Ayafashi was removed outrightly. Go check the record. Ayafashi was removed outrightly. And no lawyer, including the stop shot of Mpemfala and the rest of them, none of them went to court. Go and check the record. Go and check the record. Nobody said any complaint. Even Okujimi did not complain about what he did. So the fact is, someone has done it. That's why he's doing it. If lawyers have gone to court at that time to challenge whatever it is that he has done, he will not come back and address it. And I'm expecting that we'll have a legal mind that will come, that is not biased, actually educate us as to what we need to do. Oh, does this law permit the president to do what he has done? Joyce, I don't know if you remember, there was the time I called you and I said, see, the hunger in Nigeria is just starting. There are farmer in the north, and I know what is happening compared to what they need to say. Today, 5 years, 6 years down the line, we are in it, and we are still getting hungry by the day, and those things are still there. So a lot of things that we need to do, they were not doing. Whether I like it or not, the Niger Delta itself, do they really like themselves? Do they really do the politics of whatever they are doing? The guys on the street, do they really care about who becomes what? Everybody just care about, like what Tony Cole said yesterday on channels, that everybody is now pitching his tent to see what they can get, and that's what has been happening in the States. For me, the governor played to the gallery. He didn't play this card well, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. You can see how politics can get you all twisted. Hello, the sunny side. How are you?
Hello?
Thank you for... Turn off the volume of your radio set.
Patrick is calling from Okota.
Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Welcome.
On the issue of Rivers State, I think, to me, the president himself have committed the highest political impunity.
Are you speaking as a lawyer or as a... Pardon me. Are you speaking as a lawyer or as a native of the state?
What do you say?
Are you speaking as a lawyer or are you just speaking as a native of the state?
Well, I'm speaking as an observer, a citizen of Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Let's hear you.
Yes. So that is the way I look at it, because he himself has been a critic of state of emergency. He never told us that all efforts to resolve the issues were not met. Then the last end was to declare the state of emergency, accusing the governor of the explosion that went on less than 24 hours. So who would have known who orchestrated those explosions? Whether it was caused by the agent of those that are putting their foot down to make sure that the governor goes away so that they can use it as an excuse. To me, what the president has done is he has set fire on one part of Nigeria. Let us see how far this thing will go. Because the coming days is what we cannot predict.
Okay.
So it's better for him to go back now. If possible, let him rescind his decision and reinstate the governor so that we can have peace from that part of the country.
All right.
That's my contribution.
I do appreciate you calling in. You're on the sunny side. We're Nigeria Info. We're talking about rivers. Hello, how are you? Are you home? Okay. It does quite appear we have a connection problem here. Okay, good afternoon to you. I can hear you, but it's breaking up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sincerely, your connection is bad. I'm going to ask that you please try again. The Sunny Side Nigeria Info.
Joyce, just want to address.
No. I'm sorry. Look, let me beg you. Like, the phone lines are overwhelming me. I'm sorry. Let new people call in. Please, I beg you. Thank you for your understanding. Nigeria Info. Thank you so much for being here. What's your name?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. What's your name?
Laprushku is my name.
Go ahead, please.
Well, it's quite unfortunate what is happening in River State. As far as I'm concerned, this is not constitutional. The kind of state of emergency and suspending of the
governor for 6 months.
Democratically elected governor of states like River State. Otherwise, President Muhammad Buhari could have suspended, the clear state of emergency, both for the state in Niger Delta. If it's because of pipe blow. Then again, good Lord Jonathan declared the state of emergency, I think, in 3 states. But no governor was suspended. So as far as I'm concerned, this was suspending of this Simfubla, elected governor of River State. It's not constitutional. There's something behind it.
Thank you.
Know, because of one man. This man has come to deliver for River State in Fubula. Then what the president will have to do is to tell the other man, the other man on charge of FCT, to face the appointed ward. I appointed the FCT minister. Or you go to River State and face your battle. That is as simple as that. Either you go to River State and face your battle, or you do your duty as FCT minister. Simple as that.
All right.
This is not what the innocent people of River State deserve at all. It's not worth it.
Well, we're observing.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. The Sunny Side, we're Nigeria Info. How are you? If you can hear me, that is. I'm sorry. Hopefully you make it back. The Sunny Side, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Go ahead.
Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead. Hello? I may have lost you. Hopefully you make it back. Sorry, I lost you too. Okay, I apologize. Good afternoon. Hello, Nigeria Info. You on the Sunny
Joyce,
Side.
good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Thank you for calling.
My name is Robert.
Welcome, Rob.
Joyce, the guy that called that mentioned Ekiti, that Obasanjo removed Fayose from Ekiti. Let's assume that Obasanjo is not a Democrat. He was a military man throughout his life, so he knows little about the constitution of the Nigeria. It's not a Democrat. Okay? And if at all Obasanjo removed Fayose, is it justifiable that what he did then was right? This is a Tinubu man who was a senator who said he knows the tenet of democracy. If you listen to Ruben Abati on Arrest TV this morning, the section 305 that Tinubu quoted, Abati faulted him. He said he violated. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
He said he violated the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that what Tinubu did was an impeachable offense. Okay? There is nowhere in the Constitution, according to him, that said that the president of this country, even the Supreme Court, have power to remove a constitutional elected governor and the State House of Assembly of a state. It's nowhere. You understand? To make this worse, Tinubu said the Federal Executive Council will make law for River State for that 6 months. It's illegal under a state of emergency. It is the National Assembly that make law for a state to declare a state of emergency. If there's insurrection or there's anarchy or breakdown of law, fine. But that does not warrant you to remove a state governor. So what are we talking about? We should condemn this now. It's unfortunate that Tinubu is going against the Constitution. The Constitution is swear to uphold. He's going against it. Maybe we have a National Assembly. They will call him to order and do the right thing. Thank you very much.
All right, good. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Let's quickly go to WhatsApp because quite a number of messages here. Seeing how this is unfolding in River States, you can see vividly that the president doesn't have the onions to control or stop Wike. An elected governor was suspended by an elected president. Wike, who perpetrated the chaos and made the state unstable for Fumbara to govern, is now free without being sanctioned. Natasha is PDP, Fumbara is PDP. Both of them were given 6 months suspension. I tell you, Joyce, Tinubu is a general and not a president because he is more of autocracy than democracy. This is plain written script organized by Wike, implemented by the general, Tinubu. Thank you very much, Wills from Okoko. I do appreciate your message. Let me see. This one goes. The president has been hypocritical. He condemned state of emergency during the President Obasanjo and Jonathan regime, saying it's illegal. Going memory lane, he also criticized removal of fuel subsidy. The whole drama has been brewing for months, and all along we observed the flagrant abuse of public office and blatant disregard for the law. Sadly, by people who were put in position to ensure the law is obeyed. All I see is a fight between two powerful individuals, not in character, but in circumventing the system to their favor. In a country where state institutions have become totally impotent, this is enough to tell you that Nigeria is a failed state. This is beyond rivers. This is all politics to grab power in the state to control the resources. The citizens don't count. Sadly, we can only be entertained, and we are not entertained. Thank you very much for your message. I appreciate it. Telephone lines, the sunny side. Nigeria Info, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, Joe. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Nigeria Info. Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Peter. From Angola.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Joy, to me, it's so sad because how can you say you declare state of emergency and you said the government should go and step aside? It's so sad to me. And another thing is, you know who I blame on this issue? It's the PDP that allow all these shenanigans of Wiki. I don't know. They so allow him to become like a god, speak anyhow, just do as he like. Okay, now is PDP Wiki is in the PDP or in the APC now? You are in PDP and you are studing against the PDP that you are. It's so sad. To me, it's the PDP that allow all this rubbish, all this shenanigans.
All right.
Thank you, Joyce.
All right, good. This one goes, this is Joseph. He says, the president's broadcast yesterday didn't come to me as a surprise. He was only reading the script that has been written for a long time. This is just one part. Let's wait and see how this whole drama will end. But one thing I know is that Wike and his co-travelers will end up destroying themselves. The gods have destined their destruction, which cannot be reversed. Let me see. I'm really trying to read as many. He says this is Tinubu bias and sentimental decision is about to destroy the late President Yar'Adua's legacy in the South. When last did we hear about pipeline explosion in the oil-rich states? Politicians should be careful not to fuel the return of the Niger Delta youths to the creeks. This was something that crossed my mind yesterday. Unfortunately, because the way the story is moving, it does quite appear that the drama unfolding quicker than the investigations are. So we have to keep our fingers crossed and figure out what the government is going to do by way of figuring out who is or are responsible for these explosions which have been reported yesterday, or are we just going to assume that those will never be found? All right, the sunny side. 2 more minutes. Hello, Nigeria Info. We hold this to be worthy of notice. So good to have you here. Thank you for calling. What's your name?
Yeah, good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you. You have a minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Francis from VI. Yeah, in the state of emergency being declared in River State, it all boils down to illegality in every sense. Mr. President did not follow the due process. And he sworn an oath to rule the country with based on rule of law and all that. But there is disorderliness in the whole matter. But I want to appeal to Nigerians that all hands must be on deck. Let the right thing be done. Because what happened in River State yesterday,
all right,
danger lies ahead.
All right.
If it's not well managed, though, there's danger lies ahead.
Thank you.
That might escalate and involve the entire country.
Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, George.
All right, Mubarak says they've started blowing up pipelines and some people think he is overreacting until the fragile economy collapses again, right? So I guess you were speaking about people blaming the president for overreacting. I like this one. Wike did deal with the president before the 2023 election, so the president cannot talk to Wike. This particular writer says, I believe Wike is controlling the president. And you see, in the absence of actual straightforward statements, investigation, and holding people accountable, the speculations, the assumptions will fill in the gaps. So someone is already thinking, is it possible that Wike is controlling the president? Dare I tell you that at some point yesterday, that must have crossed my mind. But again, it's a moving story and many things cross your mind. We're off on a break. We're 99.3. This is Nigeria Info. Hold your breath. It's a short break. We'll be right back. My name's Joyce.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info, daily winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays, and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
Are you thinking of studying abroad? If yes, ALTS Education is presenting you with the opportunity to meet directly with boarding schools from the UK, USA, and Canada. Here in Lagos, this March, 2 days of boarding school fairs. Meet the school representatives on Saturday, 22nd March from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Radisson Blue, Ozumbambadi Way, Victoria Island, and Sunday, 23rd March from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Radisson, formerly Protea, Isaac John, GRA Ikeja. For more information, visit altsconsulting.com or call 0818 000 0500. Investing in our children and the future of Nigeria through international and global education. ALTS.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire, their best they brought. The banter was bold, the debates were tight, each word a weapon, each match a fight. But now it's bigger, the stakes much higher, the battle returns and it's full of fire. Fan Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is bang. In partnership with Sports Salon, we raise the game with glory, honor, and a shot at fame. Think you've got what it takes to score? Then step right up. It's time for more. Register now and take your stand. Your time to shine is now at hand.
Registration is ongoing on www.nigeriainfo.fm.
And Battle 4. Let the battle begin.
.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info, like loads of. I want to thank you, really, indeed. Remember, this is a moving story for, I guess, the next few days, or God alone knows how long this is going to be a conversation for, but it promises to be a conversation until we hit a resolution. Good afternoon, Joyce. This is Emmanuel from Maryland, Lagos. Fire shade was not removed based on the 99 Constitution as amended. Only Jonathan followed the process. Obasanjo relied on the 1960 Constitution, which was later amended. I do appreciate your commentary. Thank you so much for writing in. You suspended Fubara but left Wike. Was Fubara fighting himself? This is Olushoga. You say the president already picked sides. I don't know what to make of this proclamation. Only the future will decide if this was the best decision. This country is just cruise. So I have about a minute. I want to give 40 seconds to someone real quick. Thank you for being here. 40 seconds. That's all you got. Maybe even.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Tell us your name. Go ahead real quick. 40 seconds.
All
right, 30 seconds. Hurry up.
30 seconds. Are you going for a break?
Yes, I am.
I will come back.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lagos. We're indeed ready for a break. It's a short one, by the way. You know, it's so interesting. I'm realizing that many of the messages here for this particular case are rather lengthy. I'm not even sure why, but it's certainly a conversation that is pressing on the consciousness of Nigerians, because we have seen something like this before, once too many, particularly now this new development of pipelines being blown up. Now, we don't know. Someone is telling me ginger used to be 1,000 a bucket. Now, 25,000?
You hear it from us.
We tell you who,
when,
where,
and how it was said.
Lagos Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has commended past and present leaders in the state.
If you're planning to disturb the peace of Lagos State, please have a rethink, because police say they will not be your friend.
Kwankwaso urged the president to leave a legacy of free elections.
Only on 99.3.
Your station for talk.
The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Lagos, here are the top stories making waves right now. Debate heats up over River State's emergency declaration. Atiku Adobe slammed President Tinubu's directive in River State, calling it unconstitutional, while President Tinubu promises stability as retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas takes charge in Rivers. Drama in the House of Reps. Two female lawmakers engage in a heated shouting match over Rivers crisis. State of emergency in Rivers is unconstitutional, and that's according to law expert Professor Ray Sachara. Former lawmaker Ogbonna Nwuke links the Rivers political crisis to struggles over resource control, while senior lawyer Femi Falana condemns Tinubu's suspension of Rivers governor, calling it illegal. Rivers State Assembly throws support behind Tinubu's emergency rule despite strong opposition. Senate showdown. Senator Akpotudwagan and Senate President Akpabio clash over a court order, while frustration in Lagos, telecom subscribers complain about poor service from major network providers. New film Diner to highlight the fight to protect adolescent girls from sexual violence, while Army Chief Oluyede urges Nigerian soldiers to embrace selflessness and unity. On the international front, Russia-Ukraine conflict escalates. Putin rejects ceasefire despite rising tensions. Zelensky accuses Putin of breaking his promise to Trump by targeting energy facilities, while 13 killed in Gaza airstrikes as Israel resumes full-force military action. Big moves for African startups as Meta partners with Data Science Africa to launch the Llama Impact Grant. And U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Roberts pushes back against Trump's calls to impeach judges. And that's it at this time. You are listening to The Sunny Side with Joyce on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and I am Yvonne Archivo. Thank you for your time.
Tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce, only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. The sunny side is actually 3 minutes past 2 p.m. And, okay. So, I mean, I thought I heard something that could or is beneficial. To be honest with you, these days it's a bloody hustle. It may not even be beneficial like that, but at least you'll be able to make money. You can make money to make a living. Making a life is a whole different ball game, but okay, let's try make money. There was something Vaughn said I'd love for her to repeat on the sunny side.
Right. Meta has partnered with Data Science Africa to launch the Llama Impact Grant.
Okay, so you know, like artificial intelligence has been a solid conversation on the sunny side. I talk about science, technology, advancements. I talk about I love the crazy things science is doing that's just close to magic or next to magic, or maybe it's even magic. But here, yeah, we know of world-class well, I wouldn't say world class. I would just say big corporations in tech collaborating with, startups around the world to give grants to startups. So this one is working with Africa?
Yes, Data Science Africa.
Okay, so I want to believe that this would most certainly include Nigeria. So if you're in that sphere, this is something you want to look at. I think it would be good for you to sharpen your ideas, read up on your ideas of the potential, and find ways maybe to tap into this. The report is, it was announced that Llama Impact Grant is a new initiative aimed at supporting startups and researchers in sub-Saharan Africa. So, hey, you may be a startup, or you may be a researching company in the world of AI. Artificial intelligence holds immense potential to drive productivity, creativity, and economic growth while advancing breakthroughs in the field of healthcare, agriculture, and scientific research. So I'm guessing whether you have a healthcare idea or plan for the future, I don't like the fact that science and agriculture are merging, because the first thing that just jumped out of my mind is, they're going to technically and scientifically, alter the gene of the seed. Well, go into it so you know whether you can get it undone, but I don't think you can get it undone. At least you can stop it. So that's the thing. So we need people with an ethical mindset to go into the field of science,
right?
So that you can fight for us. Because there are some things are you use words, some things you use knives, some things you
just use wit and intelligence.
Yeah, you know, because this Nigerian politics been making you feel like this is the only thing happening in the world. You know, we need people who want a better world, and so while the people who are going in there for profit go in, people who go in for the ethics go in, and then you learn how to damage a thing and then see whether you can learn the reconstruction of the said thing. Or better put, it's like ethical hackers. So, you know, science, the more stronger science became, and then they built walls, said you couldn't penetrate those walls. We had people who call themselves ethical hackers who would go in there and hack that wall, penetrate it, and do, quote unquote, something good, right? So maybe you can become an ethical agriculturalist who would go in there, and while they're trying to, because we hear that some of the foods around this whole genetically modified game was aimed or is aimed as sterilization. They say the foods themselves are sterile. So if you eat a seed or a food that's sterile, what do you think happens to your biology? So maybe you can go in there ethically, and I'm hoping I'm speaking to children of God. And then, of course, see whether there are ways we can undo this. Better still, it fits perfectly into the world of scientific research, and nobody needs to know that you're ethical about it. I mean, you just go there, you look like everybody, and then, come on now. You kind of get what I'm putting down. So I'm glad that that's in the news, and I'm asking that if you are young, or maybe, look, at this point, you don't even have to be young. You just need to have an active, socially upward, creative mind to create things, and God alone knows what works and will work. Partner with people. If Meta is working in Africa and they're giving away money, of course this is money you're not paying back. As long as you know you have an idea that can help Nigeria, eventually help Africa, this is a call to you. And you know something like this would interest me, because I want more people, more Nigerians in that field to become not just advanced, I would even just say empowered, so that it's not a case of us depending on what comes to us from the outside. It's a case of where we are not just able to create our own things, but we can potentially be self-sufficient. So we're glad that's in the news, and I want to thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. Tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce, only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Okay, so apparently this whole thing details a little bit more information. I want to quickly share that with you. So they're saying, if you have your ears to the ground, to harness the potential of course, artificial intelligence, Meta is calling for proposals from individuals and organizations across sub-Saharan Africa to develop AI-driven solutions using Llama. So that's the double L-A-M-A, a double L-A-M-A. You can Google that, find out what that is. According to Meta's statement, the announcement of the grant The proposal from the startups and researchers will be based on or assessed on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So let me just run the 5 things by you. A clear and compelling use case for Llama, a well-defined path to impact with a large potential user base. I have a conspiracy on this large potential user base, but because they're trying to globalize the world and put the world on a cloud, you can understand why. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, do we have to discuss it? Okay, good. So they want a well-defined path to impact with a large potential user base. So whatever it is you're creating, it must be able to, through a process, capture as many users as is possible. All right, the expertise and composition of the team, ethical considerations in product development, a realistic budget and timeline. It is said that the proposal that wins will receive $20,000. And this $20,000 from Meta is supposed to bring your project to life. So get your thinking caps on. Welcome to the brave new world where science and biology is seeking a union, and God alone knows how long that marriage is going to last, but here we are. And that's apparently where all that money, today's money, is going into, and even where most money is coming from. I think tech is the new world. And so if you want to get into that space, this is one call. I hope you're able to answer. The deadline is April 18th. What month are we in? Good. That's how long you have. April 18th is, they say you submit to, let me see, verbatim, online application portal before the submission deadline, April 18th. So interested applicants are encouraged to submit their proposals via online application portal before the submission deadline, April 18th, 2025. Good luck to you, and I hope you really have something for the world to save the world. All right, yeah, so Senate, I want to also state, because first I want to thank you so much for calling in, of course, and listening to Nigeria Info. Now, this news, certainly, you know, is the biggest story, so of course on Nigeria Info we're going to be talking about it until we are able to grab a rope that leads us to a place of stability, and hopefully, we know that that's the responsibility of the government. We're hoping they get to do a good job at trying to stabilize this entire chaos. On hard facts, there's an aspect of this conversation that will be had, so you want to listen up for that, and I'm trusting Marianne would probably be having an expert there to help properly analyze what is the sensibility, the good judgment, if any, or the legality to this new development. And of course, we know that not just the nation specifically, but you know, Rivers is at this moment very tense, worse off because of the political interests. So I'm saying that to say we're going to segue into another conversation. We have a few more minutes on this before Desmond comes in, and I'm saying if you're a little, I don't know, upset about not having your commentary heard on the sunny side, time is all I have, and I just try to make the best use of it as I can. So but for sure on the hard facts, you'd be able to, I guess, chime in, but more importantly, get some expert opinion on some legal opinion. Sometimes we need, people who are ethically trained to give us the ethical assumptions of politics, if there's anything like ethics in politics, because good Lord, at this point it's as though that doesn't even exist, even as a language, even as a vocabulary. It's probably nothing quite ethical about politics. But there's something equally as, well, maybe it's interesting in a different tonation. Meta, and now, okay, no, pardon me. This is to what was in the news yesterday, which was a bill that was passed, a bill seeking the establishment of offices of social media platforms in Lagos. Let's quickly go from the break. We'll be right back with that one. tick, says the clock. What we have to do today is worthy of note.
This is Sunny Side with Joyce, only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Okay, so besides multinational social media platforms giving and collaborating with Africa to give money away, it does quite appear that much duty rests on their shoulders. One would be the one that the Senate of Nigeria highlighted yesterday. Tuesday, it passed second reading, a bill seeking, hold on, let me see, can I get this out of the way? Well, it passed second reading seeking to amend Nigeria's Data Protection Act 2023, and this is supposed to mandate multinational social media companies to establish physical offices within Nigeria. You have heard this before. Let me remind you when you heard this. You heard this during the NSAS movement. It was rumored that much of the news that emerged from the NSAS movement was counter-truths or half-truths or fabricated stories or false information. What other name does it go by? Good. Now, the proposed legislation titled a bill for the act to alter the Nigerian Data Protection Act 2023 to mandate the establishment of physical offices within the territory or territorial boundaries of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by social media platforms and for related matters. This is by Ned Nwoko. All right. Now, if you also remember, there was a time during the Buhari administration, who remembers that, when there was a ban placed on Twitter because the then owners and regulators of, today's called X, then it was Twitter, the regulators and the managers of the platform thought that there was a statement by the then president which violated their rules, and so they took it down because, of course, a lot of people drew their attention of the platform, and that must have infuriated the then president, and we all were made to pay a price which young, bright, eager, willing, talented, smart Nigerians were able to boycott. In fact, if you're a young Nigerian, if you're speaking to young Nigerian, if you have them for friends or children, you probably didn't quite feel the ban because they all boycotted it. Yeah. And then, of course, the very issue of them having physical offices. You remember when Lai Mohammed was in the news and indeed demanded that they have physical offices because they thought it would be one way to ensure that they properly regulate. Now, when you say regulate, they already regulate the media platform. It's just that the Nigerian state believes that they should have physical offices here. Now, when you talk about physical offices, we've had companies with physical presence in this country who've had more than just one reason to lock shop and go home. So leading the debate, Nwoko emphasized the importance of the bill in protecting Nigeria's digital sovereignty, boosting the economy, and ensuring better regulation of online platforms. This is not new to you. He noted that despite Nigeria being one of the biggest social media user bases globally, he says that the platforms such as Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok do not maintain physical offices in the country. So I would think that one of the very important reasons why Ned is moving this bill is that he thinks there needs to be better regulation of online platforms. So yes, it's not a guess at this point if we say that it would appear that there is a perception that the usage of social media platforms, according to some people in power, need to be better regulated. Let's talk. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. It's your turn to speak on this matter, what you think is better regulation, and whether this is even the most important thing, because I think I was going through a commentary yesterday, and of course someone tagged me to the story after I had seen it, and he was asking me, he wanted us to discuss it, asking why we have politicians who appear to be more taken by trivialities and not so important things, giving every other problem in the country today. But I think the very sensitive nerve here is proper regulation. What would that mean in your dictionary? Before I go to the telephone lines, can I, if you would permit me, quickly share some information with you, and then we're back to the heart of the matter.
By me, she was referring to me. That's me. Fan Battle is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is back. The stakes are bigger. Yes, 32 of Lagos's finest fans will be coming into the studio to contest for their own version of glory. And this one carries a price tag of 1 million naira plus the title of champion for the 4th season of Fan Battle. Now, to register, all you have to do is go to www.nigeriainfo.fm, click on the Fan Battle banner on the homepage, and go ahead to fill the mini form, as well as drop a video that is not more than 60 seconds long of you talking about a football topic of your choosing, and of course click on the submit button, and just like that, you are game. For 3 seasons before now, fans have fought with passion and fire, and they have brought their best. The banter has always been bold, the debates have always been tight, each word a weapon and each match a fight. But this time around, we are taking it there, and there is where you need to be. So do what I've said. Go to the website, click on the Fan Battle banner, fill the mini form that comes thereof, and then drop a video of not more than 60 seconds of you arguing with yourself, of course, or talking, just, ranting to yourself about a football topic of your choosing. You do not know what will work. Just be your best self. Fan Battle 4 is back. Let the battle begin.
All right, we don't have so much time on the clock now. We're talking. Let's make it count. Hello, how are you? You're on the sunny side. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you. I can.
Yeah, my name is Alex.
Welcome, Alex. Thank you for being here.
On this bill, let me tell you, do not be deceived. These are the way they plan. They might want to make it sound sweet and all good, you understand? What their plan is to make sure they box the media.
You think so?
Just like doing now. See, there is no way. Don't be deceived. The government, we don't have any right government. It is only when we have the sincere government who is accountable to the people. That is when I'll believe them. Whatever they are doing now, I will never believe any one of them.
Okay.
See, now you're telling them to have office. If they have office, they are going to use it to even continue to track anyone that speaks against their ill acts.
But they already track people, today. Those whom they're interested in tracking, that is.
That's it. So that, see, you don't know all these politicians. They are even more worse than the devil.
For real? Oh, come on.
For real. No, this is not common. They are
okay.
even worse than the devil.
Okay.
They don't have the heart for the people. It is only them and their cliques.
All right.
These people act like cultists. They are people. See, what is going on in this country? Nobody wants this country to move forward. They are all there to just siphon and build themselves and nothing else.
Thank you.
Okay. See, the abnormality, it's just like Nigerians have just accepted the abnormality from these people.
Yeah.
And they're all living things. You know when people say that people are gullible, and it's really telling on people. Not that people can't fight, though.
Yeah.
But I've said it. I know one day, I'm ready for us. That is why we'll continue this way. But I know there's a supreme power above every man that will surely take all this in back.
Yeah.
Let them continue.
Thank you for calling. Someone is helping us out with what that llama thing is, which of course, I told you about a few seconds ago. He says llama is a large language model by AI. Yeah, and it truly is. Large language model released by Meta AI starting in February 2023. So it started 2 years ago? The latest version is Llama 3.3, released in December of 2024. So basically, I guess you're supposed to learn the language model and then use it to create something, and then they're going to give you money for it. Looks like a gift. Sounds like a gift. Is it a gift? But good luck to you. Get into the world and survive. Hello, Nigeria Info. So good to have you. Welcome to the sunny side.
Thank you. It's Ben from Eva.
Yeah, great.
I support the last caller.
Okay.
I support him. They want to... it sounds nice, but it's not. It's to our disadvantage.
Okay. All right.
You see this girl, this Rita, what Ugumaya, this youth copper.
Yeah, the call.
Spoke against Tinubu.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you see the way the information went the whole world, fly the whole world. That is a space like that. They want to block it.
Okay.
It's not to our own advantage.
Got it.
They just want to regularize social media
to our own disadvantage. So if you want to speak against past information, what is happening in Nigeria, they will block it there.
All right, got
They will connect it to the Minister of Communication, NCC. They will bully us. All these things. Don't you see what they are doing to Fubara now? All these things. Anything they do, the whole world is seeing it. They don't want something like that.
All right.
They don't want something like that. So
thank you.
These people, they are against us.
Wow.
They're against us. That is why they are doing all these things.
I appreciate it. Oh, you don't support. I appreciate it.
The Night Assembly.
Hold on. I have to be off on a break, please.
All right, thank you.
Lagos, off on a break. We'll be right back here on the sunny side.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.